Carrowcrory Journal viewers, welcome to Carrowcrory Journal number 17. And with this edition, I'm asking you, what does Samhain mean to you? I hope you enjoy this program that I've put together to you of what Samhain means to me, and I hope it can reflect on what Samhain means to you, this veil into the winter. What does it mean to you? Enjoy this Carrowcrory Journal video program of Samhain. What is Samhain to you? I have never thought about this as much as I do now, living on the southwest side of the Hill of Cache. The Hill of Cache, with its famous caves looking west. I had heard of stories of here before I visited, before I lived here. Stories of the mythology, who in larger-than-life stories became the Mori Gronya, who today is most familiar as the Morrigan. Some people also call this hill of the kayak the Hag, Mahamor. But going back to the mythology, that is close to my heart, close to my spirit, close to my passion. This has no reference to battle, acquisition or loss. It is connecting the cycle of seasons, connecting the weather and language of nature, connecting birth, living, harvest and rebirth. More infinitely great, the entire presence of life. Corrie, the valley, the hollow mountain, the cooking pot, the alchemy pot, the cauldron of rebirth, the womb, Kuan, the quiet weaving within this womb, the alchemy feeding from the excrement from our harvests, what the trees have shed, what the October winds have turned over, the quiet weaving to resurrect the new child of life at Imbolc, after breaking the waters collected through winter, the waters gushing and spreading before new life can be born, water that flows through the middle of Aquarius, the air symbol of the water bearer. It is now Samhain in Ireland, Scotland, Wales and England, and other countries likewise, when we enter into the season of the mythology, our quiet weaving season from Samhain of November until Imbolc of February. It seems fitting that the woods of weaving, the willow and the hazel, are the last trees to shed their leaves in November and be the first trees to open their leaf buds in February. November, the time when the whooper swans have arrived, that some folklore describe as carrying the midwifery care during these 3 months before birth. November, a time of noticeable chilled air from its beginning. Through the chill nights, morning mists arrive, and sometimes they are thick. We can believe these to be the thin veil between the two worlds, one seen, the other unseen. And we offer to feast with the passing spirits, the she, the fae, the fairies departing from our harvest, their 3-season job done here, to be within the mythology space, to help weave the new life to be born again soon, just like Santa's helpers. At this time of mist, we may find ourselves revisiting our memories we carry in our shadow, and we may name our passed on family members and friends, and even those passed on deep into their ancestries. We may speak their names, believing that through the veils of mist they will hear us and acknowledge we still remember them. This is a time for sharing songs, poetry and stories that are of these past people and arouse our memories of them. This time may be spoken of as containing a day of the dead, but to me this is truly a day or two of connecting with our living memories so they do not fade away. At Carrowcrory Cottage we will serve to complete this cycle of integration within the veil through feasting, sharing our words as poetry or similar, then enter into the herb spiral labyrinth, that until now I never knew why I created it. It was at this time last year the stone circles of this labyrinth were created. And from just after Imbolc this year, through Belthany and through the midsummer, herb plants were planted, and some naturally seeded themselves. Many stones were moved away to allow space for this new life to feel at home and to spread. And through these past birth, growing and harvest seasons, this herb spiral labyrinth garden has evolved from an ancestry of broken stones into becoming an amazing synchronization of life. But I've made one more discovery about this. The sun does not shine on the herb spiral labyrinth between November and early February, so it remains in the shadow of the cottage, as the sun is no longer high enough to reach over. So after fasting and word sharing, we will enter this labyrinth garden space, guided by lights we will place here. We will have opportunity to thank our spirits of harvest and memories, and then leave these circles of seasons behind us. Then after we are done, I or any guest to Carrowcrory Cottage will no longer enter this labyrinth garden until February. So I toast this living space hosting us as a trusted and safe place before we leave it to weave itself through the winter. A recent blog post by Dave the Bard explains his Samhain feelings as they seem quite close to what is weaving here. He reminds us about a harvest of language that we have accumulated since birth, language that we pour out through our songs, poems and prose. But when there is a rebirth, all language is lost. What is reborn is pure life, naked, without any memories of human-calibrated, symbol-linking language. What we do, how we feast, and how we move through Samhain today is not following a ritual of hundreds or thousands or more years ago. It's not the same rituals I lived through 50 years ago, and those rituals would have changed from 50 years before that. Stories still carry the ancient names and deeds, but their settings are of now, even if we try to make them theatrically ancestral. I believe it's all about where we are now. I believe presence is essential for our own inner Samhain spirit to be fulfilled, not a past archive of notation that does not connect with our present memory. To me, this is an opportune time for bathing in our prophecy of our present, not fearfully wandering into an omen of our future, or be weighed down by curses of our past. I look forward to you joining us at Carrowcrory Cottage here for our end-of-season feasting, words from our shadows, offering our spirit connection through the veil, using our lighted herb spiral labyrinth garden, and come out of it with our spirit weaving to incubate love and protect us through Imbolc and beyond. Wishing you love and protection as we enter into the flow through this divine season. Thanks for watching this video. If you would like to visit us at Carrowcrory Cottage and Labyrinth Gardens, please visit carrowcrorycottage.com first. For more videos, please subscribe below. Until the next Carrowcrory Journal video, happy dreams.